Welcome back to another edition of the Try Life On podcast. As I make this intro, I will tell you that I'm sitting here a bit emotional and trying to collect myself, literally trying to collect myself from crying a little bit and just having a moment because I just talked to Rhonda Farrah, and Rhonda is a lifestyle empowerment alchemist. She's a health and wellness coach. She's got decades under her belt as a psychotherapist. And I have been on my own relative life journey in the past 6 months, 7 months, from what she calls a God moment, where everything just falls apart. And you have to take a moment in your life to look in the mirror, understand what occurred, and fix your reflection, as she says. She's amazing. And when you listen to the interview, where she's coming from and where I was trying to help you understand is that we all have an inner peace and an inner power. You can call it your subconscious. You can call it the law of attraction. You can call it God. You can call it the universe. You can call it Tom and Jerry if you want. But we all have this infinite power to create what it is that we want in life, be who we want in life, go where we want in life. And sometimes you just need people around you who know how to give you tools such that you can go do the work to create the life that you've envisioned. I have manifested so much in my life. I think about it now. I wasn't as intentional as I am now, but if I go back and I think about the day when I said in 2002, I'm going to be financially free, and that happened in 2014. When I said in 2001 that I wanted to be a federal agent or be a special agent, kind of like Jason Bourne in the movie The Bourne series and stuff, and I ran field offices for my federal law enforcement agency on the Red Sea in Djibouti, Africa, and then on the Aegean Sea in Turkey. That manifested. When I wanted to try out for the NFL, I didn't become an NFL player, but my attempts at the NFL manifested. We have the ability to change so much. We have the ability to try life on whenever we want to. And the power of speaking to someone like Rhonda, who gets you to understand that your past is a necessary ingredient for you moving forward in your life. The mistakes that you make define what you will be in the future, or help define what you will be in the future because you learn from it. She spent 6 years in a federal prison camp. That was shocking to me. But now it's not shocking because I understand that when she was in federal prison, she had her God moment and realized that she was on this planet to start helping people. She had to take a look at herself, fix what she had going on. She started helping people, and she has never stopped. She gets people to pivot. She gets people to understand that non-forgiveness of who you are and the mistakes that you have made is a poison. She gets people to realize that gratitude and forgiveness put you on a path to an empowered life. I'm going through my own journey, so I'm speaking about this from a place of emotion, from a place of realism, from a place of something I'm going through right now. And it was just a powerful conversation. I lost it several times during the conversation. If you are trying to try life on, if you are trying to shift something, if you are trying to manifest something in your life, if you're trying to start a business, trying to have kids, trying to get out of the W-2 job in favor of doing something more creative, please listen to this particular interview. Please visit Rhonda at helpmerhonda.com just so you can get a thought process on how powerful someone who is a psychotherapist or someone who understands inner work, realizing that inner work is what gets you to the external outcome that you want. And I'm not saying this from a, hoo-hoo place or weird stuff place. I'm telling you it from, I happen to be going on a journey right now. The interview that I had with Rhonda was scheduled 3 or 4 times over. We kept having to cancel. And because I met her today, right at the moment I was ready to accept some of the things that she said, the timing proves to me that the universe is not playing around. Take it for what it's worth. I hope you enjoy this interview with Rhonda Farrah. It affected me dramatically. This is what life is about from my perspective. This is how you get to trying life on, when you do heavy inner work so you can have beautiful external realization of what it is that you really want out of life. Man, it was great. If you want to chat about it, if you have any questions, please, Maurice at trylifeon.com. I will respond. But I just certainly hope I loved it. I don't even know what to say anymore, man, but just enjoy this interview with the amazing Rhonda Farrah. So like I was saying, it is incredibly timely, and it's wonderful to meet you. I I have become aware of your story in just doing a little bit of research on you, but I tend to not want to do too much research on people, because then you have this preconceived notion on who they are, or what they are, or what they want to become, and all those kinds of things. But the premise I want to give you before I ask you to introduce yourself a little bit is, this is a Try Life On podcast. I've had a very interesting life journey in that I was a corporate executive for 25 years, a federal agent, which we will talk about, for 22 years, a street cop for 15 years. I did it all at the same time, while being a real estate investor, while traveling to 98 countries over 350 times, while being a dad, etc. I created a lifestyle I don't need a vacation from, empowering myself to make decisions against the status quo. And what I do is Try Life On, and the platform, to include my one-on-one coaching, is help people create their lifestyle they don't need a vacation from. And I'm starting to realize in all of my time doing it, that while the external goals and actions matter, it's the internal work that powers everything forward. And I have helped people change their lives in a lot of ways, but someone like you does it from a radically different perspective. So I am not only happy to meet you, I'm kind of honored to meet you, because I'm aware of what you do from a psychotherapist perspective, a little bit of what your journey is. And help me now, Rhonda. So could you just kind of introduce yourself and how you help empower people to the lifestyle that they deserve?
Absolutely. And thank you for introducing yourself. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me as your
My
guest.
pleasure. My pleasure.
And my name is Rhonda Farrah, and I am a lifestyle empowerment alchemist, a coach, a speaker, and an author.
Mm.
And I love what I do. I have, for over 25 years, have been coaching, some as a psychotherapist, mostly as a lifestyle empowerment coach, which we will get into. We'll break that down.
Mm-hmm.
And I have helped thousands of people recognize that they don't need to settle for less in their life. They don't need to live life in default mode. But timely is right. We're here. We're beginning a new year. Let's
Mm-hmm.
not begin it in default mode. Let's take the bull by the horns and say, this is what I want in life. And that's what I help people do. Oftentimes, we need to understand what we don't want in life,
Right.
and we arrive at what we want. But as an alchemist, alchemy is it's the medieval term forerunner for chemistry. So
Yes.
take one substance, one thing, and transform it into something else, such as metal can become gold.
Mm-hmm.
Our struggles, our adversity can become gifts and blessings if we choose to go there. If we choose to get out of victim mode and know how entitled and how empowered we are in the image and likeness of divine, of source, of God, whatever you call it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Something
Mm-hmm.
higher than ourselves. And that is something that is in all of us. So I help people ascertain and uncover, peel away the onion skin to
Yes.
understand their magnificence, and that they can have the life they desire. They can have the life they want to live if
Absolutely.
they choose that.
Absolutely. It is a conscious choice. I've been recently reading the book The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Mhm.
And maybe that's why I'm so sensitive to meeting you, because if I look back at my own journey, I did make conscious decisions in my life to do all the things that I suggested to you, to, let's say, be an executive during the day and be a police officer in the middle of the night for 15 years straight. And I just never told anyone, and found ways to sleep and found ways to make it happen. If you want something so deeply and it does drop, let's say, into your subconscious mind, it will happen. I think a lot of people are struggling with the fact that they exist in a status quo mindset, but they don't know that they are in the status quo mindset. How do you talk to your clients, or if you're just speaking at an event or something? I've never had a status quo mindset. I think that's why we're here on the Try Life On podcast together, because I never spoke about the way that I was thinking for 17 years. And then I started speaking loudly about it. I don't like status quo. It's a default language, but people don't get that they are existing in that. How do you help wake people up to the fact that they can have more than just existing and they can truly thrive?
I look them right in the eye and I say, take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that you are a magnificent being? Do you look in the mirror and like what you see, let alone love what you see?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time they say, no, I don't like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And, and hence, that's why Help Me Rhonda Now has
Yep.
developed a new brand. Fix your reflection first. If you are not living the life that you desire, the life that you want to live, you must fix your reflection first. Because if we don't love ourselves, if we don't care for ourselves, if we don't respect ourselves, we're not getting any of that out of
Yeah.
life, let alone
Yes.
from individuals. And to understand that the many of us do have a, some people call it checkered past, some people call it colorful
Yeah.
past, okay? And
Of
there are
course.
gifts and blessings in all of that. And everything, and I have lots of joy in my life. And I
Mm-hmm.
have some sorrow too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, some of it:
I do.
incarceration, cancer, financial ruin, a couple divorces, all of
Yes.
it. But there are gifts and blessings in everything if we choose to open that curtain and say, yeah, there are
Exactly.
gifts and blessings. And the other thing is, we call it all forward. Oh, people would just go up one side of me and down the other. What do you mean? I didn't call that forward. You called being in prison forward. I go, yeah, I might not have known, but that subconscious mind, she knew. She knew
She knew.
exactly what she was doing, because we are here to be of service to others. Never in a million years did I think I was going to a woman's federal prison camp. And there were no bars or anything like that. And but I was of service to 300 women at a time,
That's
and
right.
actually started teaching wellness classes there.
In the prison. So talk to me about that. So you are a lifestyle empowerment alchemist. I love that term for all the reasons that you know about.
Mhm.
But I understand that you went to prison for a time, and you had some challenges, and I would love to know what was that? How did that happen? And then how did it propel you forward to where you are now, where you are truly giving back to people and helping them see that they can have a life? And I just want to wrap that question in I read from you somewhere where you talked about your past being a necessary ingredient for your life. So you've clearly had a bit of a checkered past, if you will. Can you
Yes.
explain that past and then how it's important to who you are today?
You know, I call it God. I was raised Judeo Christian. So I
Mhm.
call it God, my source, my divine, my spirit was trying to get my attention in so
Yeah.
many ways. Started with some little ripples, then, bigger ripples, little stones, bigger stones, a 2x4. I got a major timeout in a woman's federal prison camp. I was
Wow.
removed from everything I was doing and pivoted right back into being of service to others. So, how does a psychotherapist, okay, go to prison? Okay, well, I liked investments too.
Right.
Only I was in a world I didn't know anything about, and I made some very poor choices by not doing my due diligence.
Oh,
And I got left holding the bag, is what it boils down to. And it took me a year, Maurice. It took me a year to stop banging the phone against the wall in
uh-huh.
that camp, saying, get me out of here. I don't belong here. I was right where God wanted me. After a year, I have there it is. There's the aha moment. There's the God
Yep.
breath.
Yep.
Okay.
God breath.
I said, okay. That's what I said. Oh, well, and okay. That's a year in. That's when my life began to change.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it up. I surrendered. But I didn't just surrender and fall into the abyss. I made a difference. And when I came out, other people's lives were changed for the better. My life was changed for the better. I came out and everybody around me was the same.
Yep. When you
Okay.
when you say you when you say you gave in, what 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 does that mean when you say you gave in, when you gave yourself um in that moment?
That was the subconscious mind. She took over
She took
then.
over.
She took over. And I didn't like, there was no epiphany, there was no white light, there was nothing. I remember it's like it was yesterday. I said, oh, well, okay. That's all I said. Oh, well, and okay.
But
No more.
how did you know? How did you You know, the reason why I'm struggling with the questions, I'll be honest. The reason why I'm struggling with the questions, because when you said God breath, I think I had my God breath this year. And it happened 6 months, excuse me, in June of 2023, my own God breath happened, where a particular relationship stopped, where I was moving my life to the Mediterranean, and then in October, the conflict in Gaza started. So where I used to roam, which is Cyprus, Lebanon, Turkey, it was all impacted. And because it was uncontrollables, there was nothing I could do. So it's almost like and my father is a very religious man, but it never really stuck with me. I'm more spiritual.
Mhm.
But almost instinctively, I started looking inward. And then I saw that book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It happened to be in my house. I think I've had it for 10 years, but I've never read it. But something told me to read it. How did you, and it has changed my life. How, in the moment, how does someone even know that they are having a God breath? How do they know to accept it or to react to it or to let it happen to them? I think it's a counterintuitive event in someone's life that people may artificially fight against because they don't understand it.
Yes. Um, well, I was raised with all the doctrine of Catholicism, Christianity. I don't consider myself religious. I consider
Mm-hmm.
myself as you spiritual. The
Yeah.
God breath, I didn't even know that that was happening. And that God breath continued from like what, 2003,
Mm-hmm.
2002, maybe. And that's when I'll have a God breath with an audience. I'll have a God breath with a client. And they'll know right away. Let that be. Follow that thought, follow that feeling. Again, you may not know,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where trust comes in. That's where trust of our, this is the God of my understanding is right here. There are
Yeah.
it's nothing, nobody in the sky and the proverbial lightning bolt hit me in my proverbial rear end. That's not going to happen. Right here. We have so many questions, and to understand that the answers are within us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to have a timeout. Sometimes things have to end, fall apart completely, so they can come back together the way they need to come back together. It's not, I don't believe in accidents, coincidence, or happenstance. I
I
happen to be Lebanese. Okay. I knew I'd blow you away because when you were talking, here comes some more God breaths. Okay. It was like
I
God bump.
told you I no longer I no longer doubt that whatever people want to call it, I no longer doubt the law of attraction, God, the universe. I give myself to it because sorry, I'm having a bit of a personal moment because Lebanon, where I've gone 40 times in the last 4 years since 2019, has become something very special to me. It's just the way that I feel when I'm there. I made very close friends there. I'll be there soon, assuming it's
Mhm.
relatively safe for me to go. It keeps popping up in my life. And the fact that I'm interviewing you and you even said that word and that you're Lebanese, I'm like, of course you are. It makes all the sense in the world that he would give me another signal to
Yeah.
follow my heart to go do the things that I want to do.
Yes. No accident, coincidence, or happenstance.
Wow.
Look at there were delays in us getting together, but we got together. Okay. Scheduling and everything else. One of the first things that our mutual friends at Two Market Media said, "Oh, you gotta talk to Maurice. We can't wait. We can't wait till you talk to Maurice." And I still sure I have trust.
Oof.
That's what alchemy is. It's changing all the crap that we've been through in life,
Yeah.
transforming it to the goodness so that we can be of service to others as well as ourselves, so that we can fix our reflection. Because if we don't fix our reflection first, we're not going to help anyone fix their reflection first. We're the example.
You said, well, really, there's something you said in an interview. I maybe in one of your videos, but I have always said it to my coaching students when I started. I randomly started coaching people because someone reached out to me after me posting on LinkedIn for 2 years or so my journey, and I went on this financial freedom journey to. I'm financially free. I through real estate, but I gave back by becoming a street cop in the middle of the night, and I told no one. I just wanted to help my community and all that stuff. And I tell people it is okay to be selfish, to later be selfless. And you, yeah, I finally found it. I wrote it down. You said selfishness is the most selfless thing you can do or be, because then you can come back and help so so many people with what you've
Yeah.
been through or what you've created or what you the knowledge you've gained or what have you. um can you explain that concept of selfishness is the most selfless thing you can do?
Yes. And I want to preempt that by saying,
Yes, please.
I love helping others. I love helping others that wish to help themselves
Yeah.
and those that influence and surround them. It there's a fit with me. Okay. And some people we just don't mesh.
Yeah.
But to be self there's somebody going up one side of me and down the other. When I say selfishness is the most selfless thing that you will experience, you will express if
Right.
you can. And what I mean is to take care of yourself. Are you practicing self-care? Are you gentle with yourself? Do you like anything about yourself? Or are you always criticizing and judging yourself? Selfishness means I can blow my own horn. I can do
Mhm.
that because I
Mhm.
am a magnificent person, regardless of whatever you want to call them, mistakes, quote unquote, failures, quote unquote, all necessary elements to understand that even with all that stuff going on, I am going to be selfish. I am looking in the mirror or any reflection I can catch myself in. I was doing that years ago. I didn't even know. I was, go by a pane of glass, Maurice, and I'd say,
Yeah.
you're pretty, yeah, you're pretty good looking. Yeah, you're very articulate and everything else. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And here I am.
Helping
Fix
people.
your reflection first. You will not live the life I won't live the life that I want unless I'm continually fixing my reflection first. Not in a bad way. I would look in the mirror and there was all that external stuff going
Right.
on for me. I'm
Right.
not immune to what
Right.
I'm helping people do.
Right.
But now when I look in my mirror, I go within.
Hmm.
I go
when
within.
when you say fix your reflection first, did that kind of come to you when you were in prison, or has that developed? I don't know. I sense you've been on this journey where you did start looking within when you were in prison. You
Yeah.
did start helping people, and then my assumption is, because I'm having this experience doing this podcast and coaching people one-on-one, and when I was a police officer, the more I give, the more I get for some reason. And I'm not giving to get, but the more I give, the more I get. My assumption is that this kind of evolved in you over time, but the fixing your reflection part, did it happen did you understand that that's what you needed to do when you were there? Or is this something that kind of evolved over time, even beyond that period?
I think it was always evolving, whether I realized it or not. The
Yeah.
title, Fix Your Reflection First, was within the last year. It got a title, Fix Your Reflection First.
Mm-hmm.
But it continues to evolve within me. Just being a guest on your podcast says to me, okay, fix your reflection first. You know, I was pretty squeamish talking about my prison time and
Yeah.
everything. I was pretty squeamish. And then all of a sudden, that's part of my reflection, I said. And that's okay.
It makes you
That's
you.
okay. I'm sorry.
It
Yeah,
makes you you.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I've also learned from over the years, and what's evolving and what's not evolving is what needs to evolve will evolve. What
Yeah.
needs to happen will happen. I mean, again, I'm not looking for the proverbial lightning bolt to come down,
Right.
but I am looking within
Yeah.
to say, I feel really good about talking to people about my poor choices, about
Mm-hmm.
my screw ups, and how I made that work
Mm-hmm.
for me. I feel really good about saying, when I did a wellness class,
Mm-hmm.
I helped women take a year off their sentence
Nice.
out of this drug program thing. After about a year of teaching it, I went to my counselor and I said, hey, do you think I could get a year off too?
Mm.
And they said, no.
You're like, oh man.
And again, I said, oh, okay. And that was that. I didn't get mad. I didn't, because I knew where I was, where I needed to be. I
Yeah.
was recently asked something and to respond
Yeah.
to, do you have any regrets?
Yeah.
Well, not just about prison, but about anything. But I use that
Yeah.
as the example. No, I have no regrets whatsoever. And when I came out, they and I people still ask me, well, if you could do it over, would you have changed anything? I said, no, I would not have changed a thing. I came out with less onion skin on,
Yep.
and I like myself, and I love looking in my mirror, and I
I love.
love practicing self-love, self-care. I
Yep.
love being selfish, not to the point where you step on people, but you say, come on, you got this stuff, the mojo and everything else. It's in you too.
Yep.
It's not just me. We are all our own guru.
Yep. I believe it, and I believe it. And I'll be a little bit vulnerable, but I do believe that the subconscious is infinite. I do
Mhm.
now. The God breath, I love that phrase. Oh, thank you for teaching me that phrase. The the
Here
the
it goes
God,
again.
yeah, the God breath that I had in June, it broke me apart. It Now you're looking at a lieutenant colonel, retired, federal agent, midnight street cop, inner city kid, Haitian immigrant, played football, tried off the NFL. I'm about as A personality as personality gets. I, I don't fear death. I know that it's part of life. Um, the only real fear I have in life is regret. So when I broke apart, if you will, because of my own God breath or the relationship that stopped and where I was supposed to be and all those kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it broke me apart so much that I knew that I needed help. So I'm a very big advocate on mental health and mental fitness now, because I saw what it did to people when I was out as a police officer, I didn't have enough empathy and understanding to know what they were going through. But now that I've gone through my own, let's say, depressive episodes and different states or what have you, it's challenging. And thank goodness I did get support from someone like you who's a psychotherapist. So I was hoping you could talk about what a psychotherapist does, how psychotherapy helps someone who has quote unquote had a God breath or broken apart because life didn't go the way we wanted or we expected, or we had some expectation, it didn't materialize. How does a psychotherapist support someone getting healthy when they go through such a phase, if you will?
I can speak to that. I can't speak to all of psychotherapy, but I
Sure,
can
sure,
speak
sure,
to
sure.
myself
Yeah.
as I have been given a gift to help people awaken,
Hmm.
just like having a really, really sound sleep, and you awaken to your self with a capital S. And when we do that, things don't look dismal.
Hmm.
Recently, over the last 2 weeks, it was like things, oh my God, I got to do this again. I got to redo this. I thought this was a yes. It's not. I don't want to do this. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't even like catching myself. There it happened again. I said, oh, well, I realized my strength from within.
Hmm.
And it, as a psychotherapist, as a coach, it's important that people realize we're on the sidelines for them. They must do the work. I
Yes.
have a very extensive toolbox as a psychotherapist and as a coach.
Hmm.
However, if I have people that don't want to use the tools or want me to wave a magic wand, I have a wand, but I'm not waving it, okay? Because
Hmm.
you must do the work. For me, my value is not only in awakening people to that, but holding them accountable. You must do the work.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to not have this crummy relationship with your daughter? Oh, it took years. I said, do you really think that in 2 sessions I can fix?
Right.
No, it's time for you to fix your reflection first.
I, I absolutely love that. And in the spirit of like equating it to a real world thing, I made my own mistakes.
Mhm.
I recognized that I was being a bit of an A personality and not having empathy towards particular people. And when I had my own break apart moment, it woke me, man. I mean, everything you're saying is so true because I've just gone through it. It woke me up. It woke me up to what I needed to fix about myself. It woke me up to my actions have a lot of impact on people around me, and the world is not about just me. The world is about the people who interact in my life and how any action I take or lack of action I take affects them. And I didn't always think about that.
Mhm.
I'm a good man. I'm a good human. And I say good, not great, because I mean good, like I'm kind and things of that nature. But I missed the point. And I would do things like go be a police officer, donate money, go door to door in Lebanon, by the way, go to door to
Mhm.
door. I have this thing, I don't talk about it very often, but it's appropriate here. My goal when I do philanthropy is how can I change someone's decade in 5 minutes? So I would do things like pay for someone's cancer surgery, give an autistic kid 2 years worth of one-on-one tutoring. And I chose to do it in Lebanon, and I keep going back and doing it there because one of the reasons it helps, it does change people's decade is because so there's this New York black dude from the United States who's coming to do this type of thing for us. There must be a God. I like that feeling of giving. So I'm a good person, but I what I was missing the whole time was when you don't do good things or when you do things that may be a little bit selfish but not from the right perspective, you affect so many people and it could break them.
Mhm.
I hurt some people, not in a physical way, but I hurt some people and things of that nature. And I didn't realize that I was doing it. So I had to fix myself. And I've been on this journey since June of last year to fix myself. So which is why I picked up that book and started reading, which is why I think the universe put you here in front of me today to validate that I'm doing this internal work. And I could even have this conversation with you in a meaningful way. Fix your reflection. I hope people will listen to this, because fix your reflection first makes so much sense. I can be a better human. I can give more to the world if I fix all the flaws that I see in myself. Not what other people are telling me, what I know to be true.
Yes.
And I had to look in the mirror to do it. And my assumption is a lot of people need to fix their reflection first, but are struggling to find someone like you, or struggling to find the courage to say, I need it. What do you say to the people who do need it, but don't know how to reach out, or are scared to get help in that respect?
I say, you are not alone. Understand you are not alone. Whether you reach out to me or someone else, reach out, because you are not alone. We have been graciously placed on this journey together. We each have our
Right.
individual journey, but we have this journey together. And it takes everyone together to make the world revolve. It really does. So that to be that example, even though people would say, oh, prison record.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They say that. I didn't flinch when you said you were a federal agent and this
Ah,
and that. I don't flinch.
right.
Some of my best friends during that time or correctional officers or
Right, right, right,
otherwise. You
right.
know why? Because
Yeah.
I had respect for them and they had respect for me.
Yeah.
I would say everybody is doing the best that we can.
Yeah.
So understand that, and understand that none of us is alone. None of us. And this divine things happen. Us talking happened.
Oh,
If, okay, it's like, okay.
right.
It,
It's affecting me actually quite a bit.
it's and it's affecting me because I'm being blessed by knowing that I'm blessing you.
Yep.
That's how it works for me. And I can
Rhonda,
see, yeah,
it is, oh man. When I was a police officer, I was the guy, I was the street cop who would pull people over, and if they had had a little bit to drink, I mean, they couldn't be drunk over the top, but they have to go to jail. But if they're right on the line or something, be like, listen, I can either give you a DUI, or I can pull your car over to the side of the road, have it towed, and you can wake up tomorrow and go pay $300 to go get it. I was always looking out for people. I was also the guy who would sit down next to the homeless person who was having a mental health episode and
yeah,
just be like, talk to me, brother. What's happening? I was that guy. What I didn't realize at the time is mental health issues. I'm so in tune to it now. Mental health, there are people fighting mental health issues, and we don't know it. And it's so deep and it's hurtful. And it's the person who's next to you at the grocery store in the checkout line, and they are fighting a battle that um, we can't feel. I because I've gone, and still feel like sometimes I'm going through it, because mental fitness is something we're always going to have to deal with. By this time in my life, in our lives, I'm 48 years old. We've seen so much, we've done so much. So there's trauma, there's tragedy, there's success, there's kids, there's things that you wanted, and it all just compacts down into you, and it causes things to occur. It strikes me that not enough people take the mental health side seriously enough, that they are driven, let's say, by commercial things or by external validation rather than inner work. I wonder how when you speak to people, how do you get across to them the priority that mental health should actually be in someone's life. And when I say mental health, I mean doing inner work, or if there's something that needs to be something else out. I call it inner work just because that's where it exists.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing the priority in it because I went through something, because I had my God breath that required me to do inner work. Other people may not see it. So how do you express to them how important it is, or get them to
Maurice,
realize?
yes, whether it's an individual client, group coaching, or an audience,
Right.
understand that our emotions are what's going to determine our external life. Our emotions. Research bears that. Sickness, the evidence of ill-being or well-being, dis-ease. So I would say to an audience, to a client, I would say, what are you feeling? Do you know how many people do? They give me the dissertation. No,
Yeah.
feeling. Okay, but well, what do you mean? Feeling like anger, resentment, sadness, disappointment, joy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling secure? Are you feeling comfortable? They don't know. That is how our external world is determined, by the emotions that are within us, and are we emitting them or not? It's yeah, you touched upon it briefly. You had all this stuff in you, okay, so but you weren't letting it out. It's jam packed in there. And I always say, it's okay to be sad. It's okay. Don't shove those emotions down, because this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Keep shoving them, keep shoving them, keep shoving them down. They will erupt at the most inopportune time. And I'll be blunt. It's like shoving everything down the toilet, okay? And you don't clear it out. After a while, it's going to erupt again at the most inopportune time, when you've got a house full of guests.
Right. It's gonna hit. It has to.
It has to.
It has to. I don't know. It has to. It has to. For everyone who's listening, we've all like it. My story has so much stuff in it with everything that I've done. It's
Mhm.
easy to. It's maybe easy to understand. I've been in war zones. I've seen shootings. I've seen deaths. I don't know. I don't know how many dead people I've seen. Maybe 100 in my life.
Mhm.
I handled it well. But then it's down there. You don't realize that it's all compacted and stuff. I just kind of want to stress to people who are listening, you have a lot of stuff. It just because you have one career or one child, there is so much that you have been through.
Yes.
It is worth talking about it and releasing it and letting yourself have emotion. I told you I'm an A personality. I'm a brother. I'm 230 pounds. I can deadlift 500 pounds. If I still to this day, as a 48-year-old guy, I want to let my emotions out now. I never wanted to before, because the moment I let my emotions out is the moment that I realize that I'm human and that my inner being is trying to do something. I'm learning this as I'm spending time with someone who's similar to you. But
Mhm.
I think what you do and how you help people is a gift. I think it is an absolute gift. And maybe your journey, prison and all those things, that's fine. You had more things than that, but that's the one that sticks out, of course, in your journey. But maybe your journey, as you say, your past, was necessary for you to get to this point where you can be of such a blessing to so many.
Yes. And I totally agree. When I am asked, what is your strength?
Mm-hmm.
And I no longer shirk now when somebody says, you're a gift. You're a gift to the world. I kind of get a little bit like a peacock. I am
Yeah.
a gift. I am. And my strength, my strength is I am vulnerable, and I'm not afraid to show my vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
I am not afraid to show my vulnerability. I turned 65, and the vulnerability of Medicare. Well, for 2 years, I didn't even realize I was a year older. than I was.
Right.
Okay. And I don't show it. I take care of myself.
Yep. Yep.
But that's a lot of the inner work. That's the emotions will produce the external. But
Yes.
that's my biggest strength. I am vulnerable. I got all kinds of certifications and credentials, but you know what? I learned more from life. I will forget about most of what I've learned from life because it's just so much. It's like all that stuff. And it comes out when it needs to come out. Aha. It comes out when it needs to come out. With everything, in disarray, oh my God, I remind myself, out of chaos comes order. You have to have the chaos.
Wow.
Have the chaos.
Wow.
Out of chaos comes order. When I do my spiritual treatment every morning, 5:30, it's me and my godling self, not my earthling self. It's my godling self, because that's where strength is.
What is that you do? If you don't mind sharing, is that okay?
Meditation.
Meditation.
Put the earbuds in, do meditation, guided meditation. I have a ritual of prayer in gratitude. And I do say, and I write in my journal, thank you for the very restful night that awakened me, awakened with a capital A. And then I underline it, that awakened me to this, whether it's a solemn, cloudy morning or a bright, brisk winter morning, welcoming a day of miracles and magic for me to receive and share. And I take it from there. And then I'll go and do my run. And that's more affirming. I'm affirming when I do it. I like being with myself.
Yep.
Oh, my S, the big S.
Yes.
The big S. Okay. I like being with myself because that helps me to realize and have the compassion for others. I can say we're not alone. We're not alone. And let me tell you, we are the main character in our life.
Yes.
And wherever we may go, we take ourselves with us.
Yep.
So that is why it's so important to feel, to understand that you are an emotional being. It doesn't mean you're scatterbrained or crazy, or, whatever logic is, that comes into play too. But the feelings are so important. When we feel something, it produces a thought, and the thoughts produce our external world. If you ever want to know what you're thinking, take a look around.
You look around your world.
Yeah. Take a look around. It starts right here. This is where the strength, this is where the power is. I'm very passionate about awakening others.
Yep.
On that dimension. And to be the best that they can be, physically, emotionally, and most especially spiritually. Whatever that means is different for everyone. I don't have cookie cutters. This is not a one size fits all.
Right. Yep. I love what you said, because the thing that has always gotten to me my whole life, and I repeat it verbatim to this day, is that we are the only person who's going to be with ourselves our whole life.
Yes.
Well, you can be married, but your spouse may leave before you, you may leave before your spouse, your parents will not be with you forever, your children will not be with you forever. You are the only one who's going to be with you forever. I think it's, at least in my journey, although I was alone a lot, I didn't know how to be alone. And in the last year, probably last 8 months, I've come to understand my strength comes from being alone, so I can recharge to go back out in the world and do all the crazy things that I do. So when you said I like being alone, and you go through your affirmational process in the morning, I understand that to be a primer for your day. So you feel ready. What a wonderful tool that people can use to get ready to go out and be their highest self. Is there any, maybe in the last few minutes, is there any other tool that you could share just as a example? So you gave the morning kind of affirmation routine. Is there anything else that comes to mind quickly?
And quickly, because we're in this digital age,
Yeah.
we pick up our iPhone, we do
Right.
this, we do that. Pick up your iPhone and call yourself, have a conversation with yourself and say, hi self, I've been meaning to talk to you for so long. First of all, how are you?
Wow.
Have a little conversation and then say, what would you really like for your life? If you could have anything, Rhonda, in your life right now, what would it be? And just put it out there. What would it be, self? What would it be, Rhonda? I put it out there. I'm not worrying about the how, because the how is going to show up. And if I am awakened and enlightened, not only is the how showing up, but I have the courage and the ability to follow through.
Yes.
Guide me, protect me, and I will follow through. And I will. And I am.
And I know you are, and I know you help your people do that. I want to validate something you just said because I'm going through it. What I am trying to manifest in my life nowadays, I don't, even though I have manifested a lot. I said I was going to be many things and I became those things. I said I was going to be financially free. I am. I said that I was going to retire early. I did. I just didn't realize what I said it, but I didn't realize that I believed it so much that it started to happen. I do say to myself now, especially after meeting someone like you, working with my own professional, and then reading several books to include The Power of the Subconscious Mind, I do say to myself, this is what I want, and I don't need to understand the steps to get there. You will, I hope folks understand what I'm about to say. This is just my own personal experience. I'm not a professional like this amazing woman, but if you say it in your conscious mind, and you add emotion and feeling to it to the extent that it is an emotional thing for you, it will drop into your subconscious and you will be working towards it. I believe this. You will
Yes.
be working towards it consciously and unconsciously until the time comes where it needs to manifest itself.
Yes.
That's what I've come to understand in my own life. And I kid you not, 2 hours before you and I met each other, I said to myself, I could sense my mind going to a place where how am I going to make this thing happen? Something that I have to do, which actually involves flying and going somewhere. But
Mm-hmm.
and I said to myself, you don't have to understand it at the moment. You just have to go. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out your body and your mind will help you figure it out when the time comes. And I believe you. I believe you. Man, it's just such a timely conversation. It's really,
It is.
uh, it's it's in a way it's jarring to me, but in a positive way. I'm becoming much more of a believer than I have been in the past. Um, I have a final question for you.
Yes.
Most of the people who listen to my podcast and interact with me through social media, I have a fair following on social media now, talking about building lifestyle you don't need a vacation from, you can manifest things, et cetera, et cetera. Most folks are looking for lifestyle who spend time with me. They are in an office building, they've been working in the same company for 20 years, they want to make a shift, they're scared. Someone is a CEO but actually just wants to be maybe a professional windsurfer. They want to shift, they want to move from a brick and mortar job to a virtual job, they want to travel the world, but something is holding them. What would be one thing you would tell them from your perspective with this amazing journey you've had that they can think about to really try life on, to really shift themselves? It's kind of the thing I read about you where you help people shift. What would be one thing that you could leave us with that will help people shift?
I'm glad you asked me that. Get out of your fear. Get out of that fear, that doubt, that worry zone. And don't worry about the how.
Oof.
Get out of fear zone. And everyone watching, and I practice this, treat life as if it were ice cream. Enjoy it before it melts.
Wow. I don't know how much more powerful you could say it than that. We do only have this one life. My way of saying it to the people I spend time with is not as eloquent as treat life as ice cream and enjoy it before it melts. But my way is saying we were blessed with the average lifespan being 80 years old, and that's 28,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 48, so I have 10,900 and change remaining. I have no time to waste. I am going to get on the plane. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to spend time with the person I want, build the business I love. We've just got this one life, this one stick of ice cream to enjoy before it melts away. And you said it so eloquently. I'm so grateful to meet you. You have to tell me, give me the Lebanese connection though, before we go. What is the Lebanese connection? You said you have
I'm
Lebanese background.
both parents are Lebanese. Okay,
Where?
both my parents. My name is really pronounced Farah. Farah. And Farah, oh boy, you just made me reflect on something.
Yeah.
The translation of Farah is any kind of joy or pleasure.
Any kind of joy or pleasure. Well, did you live there? Were
No,
you
I
born there,
didn't.
or you were
No,
born?
I was born in Connecticut,
Yeah.
the oldest of five,
Well,
oldest of a sister and three brothers. And um, just phenomenal parents that are watching over us all the time now.
yeah.
And as I look in the mirror and fix my reflection, I picture my mom there, a picture of my dad, picture of
Yeah.
little Rhonda.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
a picture of little Rhonda. Yeah.
in the
And
spirit of your beautiful mom and your dad, wherever they may be, I have been to their homeland your homeland many times. I have fallen in love with it. It is one of the most beautiful yet misunderstood places in the
yes,
world.
yes,
And if not for the war that's going on and things of that nature, goodness, I may even be living there at this point. Like I found something that feels incredibly powerful to me and people there and my philanthropy work and all that type of stuff. And as I said, I don't think it's a mistake that I must have put off talking to you on this podcast maybe 3 or 4 times,
yeah,
right until the point where I think I was ready to talk to you and absorb who you are and what you had to say.
that's what it's about.
Yes, ma'am, it is. And I want to thank you for coming to share it with me. Thank you for somehow coming into my life at the right time.
Yes,
Um, I'm a lot of the things you said today pierced me just because of what I'm going through and what I have started to believe. And the fact that someone like you would be presented to me on a day when I was ready to receive it. I mean, this is beyond a podcast. This is like a enlightenment moment for me. So from this very A personality dude, I just wanted to say thank you.
my pleasure, Maurice, and thank you for confirming that I'm on the right track on my journey.
Well,
Thank you.
I think you very much are. Thank you very much, and we'll be talking soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey guys, this is Maurice, host of the Try Life On podcast, and thank you for listening to another episode. I hope you are finding it useful in helping you design your own lifestyle that you don't need a vacation from. If that's the case, please consider dropping a review for me, whether in Apple, iTunes, or in Spotify. Drop a review, put some stars on it, give me some feedback on how I can make the podcast better, what information you are looking for. I am doing my best to get information to you on the Try Life On principles, the 5 freedoms, how to build lifestyle, travel hacking, all of it. And I want to do it for you. So please do a review for me. And until next time, my name is Maurice Philogene, and this is the Try Life On podcast. Peace.